Hello guys, how are you doing? Today I was thinking about making a Paul Phoenix guide in Tekken 8, how to play Paul Phoenix. And I have been looking into many other guides and I couldn't find any good guides that could help anyone out or in my opinion that could help anyone in higher level play. Uh, about Paul's game plan, I have seen more content for it. So yeah, so if you guys are ready to take your Paul Phoenix gameplay to the next level in Tekken 8, this guide is for players who are solid understanding of the basics and are looking to master advanced techniques. Actually, I forgot to go live on my stream, so I have talked about it. So my quick chat, if you can bear with me, and I have to tell this to everyone about this, so it will help out everyone. So yeah, let me just start over again and talk about it. Paul Phoenix, what kind of character is he? The one thing I can tell you about Paul Phoenix is you have to be very patient and uh, you have to be very patient about it, about Paul, and when you play him, because you have to condition your opponents. Because you have to. Is the sound all right now? Hey, Pastor, how are you doing? Nagy Beast, what's up? So today I was thinking about making a guide, a Paul guide. So glad you guys could join me. So there's one thing I want to talk about that what you need to have in mind is that you have to condition your opponent before taking any risks in a high level play. So if you want to master Paul, you need to understand which moves tracks, which moves you need your opponent to stop pressing, and how to condition your opponent in the wall, or how to play and know, get the information, get the knowledge out of your opponent to what kind of opponent is he is he aggressive or what he's trying to do, and you can capitalize on that. So the first move, the first move I want to talk about is Paul's jab. Now, Paul's jab is a very good jab. It has a big range. It can actually hit from very far away, and it is plus one on block, and on hit it's plus eight. So the opponent can't do anything. This is the one option that you can always use to start uh, putting pressure on your opponent. Paul has one of the best jabs in the game. See how the opponent's jab got whiffed. So you need to use jabs first of all for Paul. And one thing I wanted to talk about is people usually go for high risk, high reward kind of setup for Paul. So I don't play him like that. My game plan psychology is quite different with Paul. The jab is one of the best hooks Paul have. And the other thing is Paul's 1-2 extension is actually delayable. So it weirdly gets delayed. A small amount of characters has this feature with him, and the delayed two actually catches most of the opponents, and it has a very good range. See, so it also leaves you at +8, but on block you're -2, -3 actually. Let us get Kazuya on block. Yeah, it's -3. Now Paul is the kind of character if he has +4 or -3, he's very aggressive. If you only use the hits that could give you +4 or more, or -3 or less on block, Paul can dominate almost every character in the game. That is just my opinion. So 1-2 is very good for Paul. Now in neutral, you can go for down forward 4. Down forward 4 leaves you at -2 on block and +8 on hit. So it's kind of a jab in a sense, but a mid jab and a slower jab, you can say. Leaves you at +8, but the pushback is too much. So you can't apply any real pressure in terms of if you're in an open stage. So you need to figure out your options, right? Now, down for 4 on counter hit can give you a big follow up. You might have known, you guys might have known, but just in case if some people don't know, all can get a follow up of down 1+2 and forward 2 to activate heat. Let me just turn off heat for now. So, if you want to activate heat, you can go for this and recover your health bar. Or if you don't want to activate your heat, you can go for down 1+2. That is guaranteed on counter hit. So we got jabs and we got down forward 4. Now the game plan after down forward 4 is you can actually go for side step block after down forward 4 as well as 1-2 and jab. Let me just show it to you. If your opponent uses jabs after block, you can easily side step them. And if your opponent tries to use any homing moves are generally very slow. So you can also block the homing moves. See? So it's a very safe move. And if your opponent uses some quick moves, you can always sidestep block them. Now, same goes for jab. It's +1, so it's a little lenient. So this is the kind of strategy you want to go for. Just check your opponent what they does after these moves. You can also go for forward 2 and block. This is a very good poke. If your opponent actually tries doing something, you can go for Uh, you can go for a Glitchdad. Now he's using the homing. See, or a vice animal. Now we have covered down for 4, 1, 2, and 1. Now the next move I want to talk about is quarter circle back 4. It's the same move as down for 4 and 1, 2. It's a high, but what happens is it gives us a counter hit launcher. It launches on counter hit. It has a very good range, and it's a homing attack. And in certain range, it actually this range is so obnoxious. Sometimes it hits from there. So this move is very good, and try to go for if you want to poke your opponent out on or frustrate them, do a kind of mind game with them. It also does chip damage. So this move, this like this, and sides up block is a way to go in this game because you have to use the kind of moves that are plus on block or either -2 or 3 on block. So you can sidestep and now the other key poke that Paul had is quarter circle 3. It is a very good range and it gives free demo man after a counter hit. So you're gonna treat this move as a Paul's big low and it has obnoxious range. It is very difficult to sidestep and it's 0 on hit and -14 on block. So if you actually space it right, opponent can't do anything. It's non-punishable. So for circle 3 is your go-to low poke from this range, and your high poke from this range is this one, and your mid poke is this. Paul is now very good in this range. Paul also has forward 4 in this range. This is a homing, slow homing. It crushes lows, but it is susceptible to highs. Your opponent can actually float Paul out of it. See, like this, and you can get, and he can get a float combo. So you will need to use this move from this range, like this, so that your opponent's jab don't reach when you hit this move. And it's -5 on block, but if you actually space it right, you can actually sidestep or backdash most of the moves. See, if you actually hit it from tip range, you can actually whiff a lot of your opponent's move or go-to moves. Now the next move I want to talk about is forward bump plus two. This is plus three on block, and it also goes into deep dive if you press down forward. But if you go into deep dive, it's neutral on block. So what I actually kind of do is, I try to pressure my opponents into down forward one or forward two. This forward two is a frame trap here. There are some there are some exceptions where opponents can actually high touch this move after this. So you need to check them first. This move, when you go into deep dive, you can also go into side step and block and check your opponent. Okay, you can load this move to get plus seven, and from here you can go for balls, bigger moves after this, or you can again chain it into this. To complement this move, you need up back two, forward one plus two, and this move. These two, if you actually use these both moves all together, this move is very good, and it actually complements them because the opponent will start sidestepping this move, and then you can use up back to hold. It's a homing move, and if you don't hold it, it actually tracks the ball's stronger side, and it walls backs from very far away. Now, if your opponent is sidestepping and blocking, what moves you need to use? So, if your opponent is sidestepping to the right, okay, let me just switch this off. Yeah. So if your opponent sidesteps to the ball's weak side, you can use this move. It will always trap. Now, ball's weakness is sidestep left, so opponents will normally do this. And in this situation, every option that ball has can can be sidestepped. So what you need to counter this is use down forward, down forward one, down forward one. Down forward one will always track. See, and sometimes it will catch your opponent and hit them like this. See, so you can always chain down forward one together to stop your opponent from sidestepping, and then get into the mind games. This is a very good check. It leaves you at plus three. So it, these are very good. These two moves are very good. So if you want to pressure your opponents, you're gonna go for down for one, down for one, down for one, down for four. What is the back four? See, it tracks. Where this move doesn't track. So you need to use down for one when you want your opponent to stop sidestepping and make a flowchart where your opponent is forced to press buttons or forced to duck. Now, if your opponent is sidestepping, after this you can go into deep dive and cancel it. Check what they are doing. You can always use deep dive one. The next move I wanted to talk about is Cortical one. It also catches opponent's sidestepping because there is an automatic delay in it because of the crouch dash. So it catches your opponent sidestepping and hitting and pressing buttons. It leaves you at -4. So there are very little things that you can do about it. But if your opponent is jabbing you after this move using jabs, you can use down forward 2 or down 1 plus 2. Now, this is a neutral game plan for Paul. You need your opponent. You need to check initially what your opponent likes to do by using these moves. So we have talked about Portishead back four. We have talked about his jabs. We have talked about forward one plus two, up back two. We have talked about Portishead three. One move that I forgot to talk about was Portishead forward three plus four. It tracks through Paul's weak side. So you need to use if you think your opponent is going to sidestep, you can always use this move. It's -9 on block, but it has a huge reward in terms of if it hits, you can chain together quarter circle 3 into quarter circle 3 plus 4 into quarter circle back 4 and forward 2 if you need a fast quick move. Quarter circle back 2 is a very good hit too, but only use it when you know your opponent is not side stepping. They have actually quite nerfed it after Tekken 7. Now, I want to talk about Paul's punishment. On on 10 frames, Paul has 2 3. It leaves you at +8. Both are highs. And on block, it leaves you at -2. So there is some workaround with this move, but your opponent can always duck the second hit. So be very cautious about it. It is a good hook, but just use it as a punishment tool. The second move, a 12 frame punish, I want to talk about is back one two. You're going to use back one two to get Oki in the open stage or get a wall slap. This is your close range 12 frame punish, so you can't open it. You can't just use it openly. You can use back one as a poke, but it is not that rewarding. It has more downsides than being rewarding. So it can wall flat and it has a normal range, a decent range, but not that great. And if you need a long range curve swing punisher, you can go for down one plus two. See, now down one plus two is a very interesting move. On block, on hit, it gives you an OK situation, but it leaves you very far away. So if the wall is near, then you can get an OK out of it. And on counter hit, it gives you a free Iron Mountain again. Now, what's funny is that if your opponent does a move, let me check. Yeah. So I need to find some other move. Okay, let's go for crowd side. Okay, what's the move that leaves an plus two? Yeah, okay, losing crouch. Let me find Zuria's. Oh, it's down for not down bad for not down for it. Let me just check it out. Okay, let me just record. You can get a free death fist out of it if it trades. So that is one very awesome thing to know. So that is was 12 frame punish, and this one is 12 frame punish. Also, this is also a 12 frame punish, and it is a very good code too. So if you use this move after like for a punish, You can go and your opponent is likes to press buttons. You can always try and go for this. So this is guaranteed after 4 hits. So it is a frame trap. So you can always go for this one. And the jab would trade. So that is a very good thing to know. Now pause pressure moves. When you have conditioned your opponent into stop sidestepping and stop moving, you can start using this one. This is the heat engager, and this is the heat engage heat dash combo move, and it leaves you at +5. So whenever Paul is +4 or +5, uh, you can hit your opponents with demo man or down forward kick if they are sidestepping or down forward one. So these are very good moves after this. And if your opponent sidestepping, you want to catch them sidestepping, you can always use forward two after this. The opponent can sidestep after +5. So this is guaranteed if the opponent sidesteps. Let me just show you. Maybe it's something Kazuya specific. See the tracks to Paul's weak side. So this is a very good move after up over two. So let me just check the messages. हाँ bro, माइक भी पास ही है bro. Don't worry bro, I'm just making some content. I will upload the video afterwards. Now where was I? So after up over two, the opponent can sidestep. If even if they do, they won't be able to punish it so quickly. They have to be very attentive about it. So the second hit I wanted to talk about after up over two is deep dive four or crouch four. This is a very linear move, and this is a linear move too. So what you need to do is you have to mix it with this or even this, so that your opponent stops sidestepping and then you use it. After this, you can also demo man if the opponent is sidestepping. Okay. Not to make them duck, but to stop them from doing sidesteps. You want them to interrupt you. Then you can start questioning your opponent again. Now, this move is a very good move to make your opponent duck, but after the patch, they gave him +3 after hit. That is understandable, but I wanted them to give him +4 after that, at least. This ball has different moves that actually complements. So +4 is was better than +3, but what we can do now. Sidestep 3 is a very good move. You can also go for Demo Man if the opponent is sidestep or turtling. And if opponents start pressing buttons, always sidestep block and then launch and punish accordingly. You can also dash and down forward to after this. Okay, so we have got over his key moves. Now I want to talk about his whiff punishers. Ball's quarter-circle back 1+2 is a very good whiff punisher. Its range is obnoxious. Range 3, you can hit this move. So it's a very fast move. It crushes highs. So use this move as a whiff punisher. It's a very good move. Death Fist is a very good whiff punisher, and Forward 2 is a very good whiff punisher. So it depends on the range and what kind of moves the opponent is using. For example, if Kazuya is doing electrics and if you whiff the electric, you can always go for Forward 2 or down Forward 2 if he is in close range. Down Forward 2 is actually your keep out move. You will be using this move from this range here, if you know opponent is going to approach you. The next thing I wanted to talk about is Paul's mind game. Now you always have to be very considerate about the fact that Paul is only a good character in the when he's standing on your face. So that's the pressure. So if you want to pressure any player with Paul, you need his movement to scare your opponent. So if you have made your opponent scared, you can do a lot with Paul. Now let's talk about his heat game. Now Paul is actually a menace in heat. Normally people don't crouch or low block Paul when he's in heat because of his safe dead fist. This is a launcher, a normal hit in heat, and death fist is the launcher, and it can actually you know wall flat from very far away. So this is a very good move, and it's safe on block. It is linear, but it's safe. It can break power crushes and reversal break. It has a reversal break. So if you think your opponent is going to power crush or do something like that, like Leroy is going to parry, you can use Dead Fist. Rasta. False Hold 2 is a very good move. Uh, it's a deep dash launcher too, like Dead Fist. And Yeah, use this move in heat. If you punish, normally I won't recommend you to like turn this into a combo because of the damage. It has a very low damage until unless your opponent's gonna be dead. Then use it to kill your opponent. Otherwise, there's no need to use heat dash after this one. You can use heat dash after the death fist. It has a very good damage. Oh, what's happening, man? Oh, right. Why am I getting forward again? So 71 damage. It's a good damage. I don't know why it's not hitting. Yeah, something like that. Let me just finish the combo. I can't live without the combo. Yeah, that was the combo, and I have done mistake. Okay, by the way, so pause death fist. This is a very good move, and forward two is an okay move in heat. Forward four gets a big buff after heat. This is a heat engager, and it is a counter hit launcher. It is a heat launcher. So don't be afraid to use this move in heat. And Protocol Back 2 is a heat engager too, and Paul has many launches in heat, so use it as you condition your opponent. So the next thing I want to talk about is Paul's mind game. Start by doing down forward once and check what your opponents do, like this. And then when your opponents stop moving, then you will go for this move. Sometimes what happens is your opponent starts to sidestep and you can't even touch them. Let me just get rid of the heat. See, he's sidestepping. So what you need to do is stop your opponent from sidestepping and then start hitting them with the other moves. So you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Okay. I almost forgot to talk about back four. This is a very good move. This can also lead you to like enormous pressure like this. This is plus 4 and only minus 13 on block. This is a very good move. Ball can actually capitalize with these lows a lot. You just need to annoy your opponent with these. You don't need to be extremely precise. You just need to annoy your opponent to get some damage out of it. Now, the mind game is whether your opponent is sidestepping or not. If they does, use Demo Man or go for something that is plus and homie. If they start to do Glitchdad, you can always go like this, like this. So this is the game plan that I was talking about. You need to be very precise if your opponent is sidestepping. This tracks to its weak side, and this tracks to his weak side. I almost forgot the ball has a 14 pin launcher that is a high, and it actually catches opponent sidestepping to the right. So use this move. A good opponent will always sidestep duck ball. So be beware of using that. You first have to stop your opponent doing side steps or side step ducks. Now, now when your opponent stops to side step, start pressuring them with this. And you can sometimes go into deep dive and sometimes don't. Balls while sending to 1 2 is very good move. It, it gives you a back to a free back to, and if you have heat, uh, this will happen. Now the other thing is in heat pause. Double forward 2 1 plus 2 is a very good move. It tracks to the ball's weak side, and if you have a heat engager on, opponents normally sidestep to the ball's weak side, so you can always catch that with this. See, it racked. See, it hit him. But you have to be very precise about it. Now, if I go for this, then it will hit definitely. So be mindful of what you use with ball. So after this, people will sidestep. After this, people will sidestep. After this, people will start sidestepping. After this, people will sidestep. So you need to figure out where the guy is sidestepping and do the chip damage as much as possible. Don't do anything more than that, and eventually your opponent will start making mistakes. See, so at wall you can use demo man a lot, and sometimes you can do demo man right getting in their face, but that is very risky. Most of the people like understand how demo man works, but after a hit, no one dares to crouch block. Now let's get into the combos, the most consistent ones that you can do with ball. This is the best combo that I have come with, and this never misses. And it has a good damage. Okay, the ender you can also use the ender like running two, or for like ball carry you can go for forward two. Here ball has a orchestration, so you can always go and do something like that. Now your opponent forward three is a very good hit, but just forward three. Don't use the extension. That is not so great. Yeah, it knocks down and all. So we have got into combos and all. Now, if your opponent has a habit of pressing buttons, then what you can do is use down for four side set, down, down for one side set, and quarter circle back four side set, and quarter circle three side set. You can also do Cross dash four side step and cross dash one side step. We guide one side step. So whether or not you want to experience how crazy gaming, one namaste. कैसे हो? How are you doing? Crazy gaming is here. So if you want to play Paul, you need to read your opponent first. Okay, after four and back four, what he does after participate back four, what he does after down four one, what he's doing, and then know your moves, what moves to use to catch them off guard. So this was kind of a guide. If you guys want me to make more, I can make. If it's not clear, I'm so sorry. It's my first time making a guide. If I have left something out, uh, it's like you can always make a new one. So there's a lot of work to be done. Right now, I'm going to sign out and come back later. So if you guys like it, let me know. I think Namaste actually has gone. So here's kind of my guide, how I think, what my psychology is, what I think about how to play him. You tell, you let me know if I should make more of these videos or not, and give me a subscribe and like button too, and I'll meet you in several hours.